In 2010, a few really cool things happened.
3, 2, 1, Happy New Year!
Apple's iPad was unveiled. Instagram was launched. Uber went live in San Francisco. And Netflix officially expanded to Canada. And another thing that happens once in every 15 years or so. On January 1st, 2010, it was the beginning of a new generation. And these kids were born into some pretty unprecedented circumstances. And you might be one of those kids. Did you even know you were a member of this new club? Well, you are. And for some reason, everyone is talking about you. And I'm sure you want to know why. And this can explains Generation Alpha. For centuries, kids born around the same historical time have been grouped together by experts called demographers. They study populations. Each group is called a generation. You might have heard of boomers, Gen Xers, and millennials. Some of them are our parents, grandparents, and even our great-grandparents. Maybe you've heard of Gen Z too. That's my generation. Some of us might be your big brothers and sisters. And then there's Generation Alpha. That's you. People born between 2010 and 2024. Like my little sister Mira. Say hi, Mira.
Hey everyone.
Alright, now get out of here. I have some filming to do.
Not nice. Mom, are you being mean to me?
Every new generation gets people excited. And that's because the kids of a generation will be the adults of a generation in about 20 or 30 years. Experts have been talking about this latest generation with a lot of interest. And that's because by the year 2024, there will be around 2 billion Gen Alphas worldwide. Whoa, that's a lot of alphas. A lot has been written about alpha in a book by author Mark McCrindle. He is a famous Australian demographer who came up with the term Generation Alpha.
The most formally educated, technologically supplied, materially endowed, largest generation in the history of the world, Generation Alpha, that so many tuned in here are part of.
Demographers like McCrindle believe that Gen Alpha will benefit from when they were born and the way that they are being raised.
I'm super excited about the possibilities that exist for this generation because of how familiar they are, how comfortable they are, and they really can see the potential for technology.
That's Professor Jess Whitley. She's an expert in inclusive education. She's optimistic about Gen Alpha, but knows there are also going to be challenges. In 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic forced schools around the world to close for long periods. The long-term effects of disrupted early childhood education, quarantines, isolation, and social distancing are not really well known yet.
So all we can do is kind of think about what we've learned in the past couple of years, what we know from previous events that have happened.
That's because the COVID-19 pandemic isn't the first time the world has been hit by something so big it affected a whole generation. For example, the greatest generation grew up in the Great Depression and fought during World War II. For millennials, it's been financial uncertainty, the stock market crash in 2008, and now pandemic-related global supply chain issues. Yeah, that's just millennials fighting over toilet paper. Generation Alpha will be inheriting a world with a lot of challenges too, like climate change, political instability, and unreliable information.
I have to think this is a game-changing generation because I think the kinds of changes that we're seeing are those that can lead to really radical change. And I don't see this generation sitting around quietly, just taking in what they're hearing and maintaining the status quo and keeping things the way they've always been.
Hi girlies, it's Girl Gyro. Welcome back to my channel.
My name is Kara Milan. I'm an entrepreneur, philanthropist, and influencer. I influence young girls and children like me to love themselves, love their hair. You can do anything if you set your mind to it.
Why should kids like you be listened to?
I think kids like me should be listened to because we can make a change.
Okay, so now I get why people are talking about Generation Alpha so much. 2 billion kids possibly influencing everything about our planet's future, that's a pretty big deal. Hey, Mimi, what are you doing?
Relax, Boomer.
What?
Alpha's got this.
Mom!
For CBC Kids News, I'm Mira.
Mew's taking over the world.